Stop. Don't make any. Have you ever wondered if a true believer can actually lose their salt? Do you ever wonder why people sometimes do? Well, tonight, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about, is whether or not a true believer can actually lose their salt. The answer to this question might actually surprise you. So tonight we're going to come out of Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, and it reads, "You are the salt of the earth, but what good is salt if it has lost its flavor? Can you make it salty again? It will be thrown out and trampled underfoot as worthless." Here's what I want you to know: true believers don't ever lose their salt. And let me explain to you first what salt really is. It's the fire, the flavor, the way you live your life that demonstrates to those around you who Jesus really is. Everything you do shows the genuine love of the Father. You have the ability to forgive, you have the ability to understand, you realize that you are not perfect and you make mistakes. And consequently, you show that same mercy to other people and those around you. Those are the things that make up the salt of a believer. When you see believers who are cussing up a storm and swearing and talking about how they know God and other people don't know God and blah, 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 those are not who Jesus supports. He does not look at them and go, "Oh, you're a true believer." Because those same people who will sit back and criticize others will very quickly walk away from the rules of the Lord when it suits them. When they want something that he disagrees with, they will make a different choice every time. You see, the thing that I really want you to understand tonight, the point of this whole Bible study tonight is to get you to realize that who Jesus is not always who you see him portrayed as. When people are nasty, let me tell you something. There is nowhere that Jesus was nasty to people except when he dealt with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He called them a brood of vipers. Or when he turned over the tables in the temple. So if you disrespect his father, don't expect him to be kind to you. And in both situations, we got to see the disrespect of Yahweh taking place, and that caused Jesus to react. Otherwise, as believers, it is our responsibility to sit back and to understand that we serve a great God. You see, all of us have fallen short of the glory of God, each and every one of us. And when you understand that that's the reality that we live in, it makes it so much easier to be patient with people and to meet them where they're at. The struggle comes when those people show you who they really are. Once they show you who they are, you gotta let them go. And what's interesting is so many people have a problem with that. Well, no, I'm supposed to. No, you are not. Because let me explain something. You are not a savior. You do not have a heaven or a hell to put anyone in. Your job on this earth is to represent Jesus. You show what his love looks like. You show what his patience looks like, his long suffering. That's what we do. That's who we are. We show mercy, we show kindness everywhere we go and to everyone we meet. And to those who are not so wonderful, we just say nothing. And let's be honest, saying nothing is hard. Sometimes people say some things and you want to be like, you know what, let me tell you a thing or two about yourself, right? Like we all have those moments, but that's not what Jesus has asked us to be. You see, here's what I want you to understand. The world that we live in is an automated system. Everything we need has been provided for us. The reason that true believers can't lose their salt is because we understand that everything we need is already here and it's already available to us. And it starts inside of us before it moves outside. We aren't afraid to look inside. We aren't afraid to reflect on the things that the Lord has done for us, because the reality is that he's still doing things for us. Just because the system is automated doesn't mean he doesn't step in from time to time. He does. We've got to show people that. And it requires us to always make sure that our salt is very well flavored. You see, when salt is bad, it's thrown out. And that's what Matthew 5:13 is telling us. If you don't have the salt that has the best possible flavor, he's not going to keep you. You see, we always want to make these excuses for why we do the things that we do. Well, if she hadn't done, well, if he hadn't done, then I wouldn't have. He didn't ask that. I want you to always remember this, because here is the best way to hold to how Jesus handled things. When he was going to that cross, he could have killed each and every person who was there. He could have wiped the floor with them. But instead, he looked at the bigger picture. You see, our bigger picture is that he's bringing people into his kingdom, and it's through us that his perfect work is accomplished. You see, serving Jesus is a huge responsibility. It's not something that you get to take lightly. It is a major responsibility. When we look at what he has done for us, I want to just look at the basics. We have breath. We wake up in the morning and we can move. That's another day we can wake up and say, today, I'm going to find as many people as I can to change their life and make their day better. And it's interesting that when we take the focus off of ourselves, guess what? Our days get better. When we are focused on us, what we want, what we think we need, how we feel, and don't get me started on emotions, because boy, when you get caught up in those emotions, you will make some decisions that are just destructive. Everything about emotions that are not under control are disastrous. When you understand that being ruled by your emotions only ever allows you to create bad fruit, you begin to control and harness those emotions. You begin to sit back and say, you know what? I think I'm a little too emotional in this situation. That's what Jesus did when he went to the cross. He showed us that you can walk through this. You can feel the pain. You can hurt, and you can check those emotions. He did not let emotion get the best of him. That's why we all have a chance to make a mistake, to fall, and for him to pick us back up again. It's not because there's anything special about us. It's because of what's special about him. And because he is special, we get the benefits. You have got to understand what it means for salvation to be a gift. It's a gift. Let me show you something. I was given this bottle of water, right? It was a gift. It did not require me to go to a store and pay for it. It didn't require me to do anything. Someone walked up, said, you're getting ready to go live on YouTube. If you get thirsty, here is a bottle of water. I didn't have to work for it. That's what salvation is. So many people think I've got to do something to prove that I'm worthy. And we get caught in this mindset of he's done so much for me. What can I do for him? What should I be doing for him? That's not how it works. You will show people your faith by realizing that he loved you so much. He said, here's your bottle of water. I bring to you living waters that will allow you to replenish and refresh and grow every day. All I ask is that you love God with all your heart, might, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Those are the two things he's asked us to do. Anything above and beyond that, he has not put on our plate. So we live in this world, right, where they want to put the weight of the world on our shoulders. You've got to pay this bill. You've got to take care of that. You won't have power. You won't have this. So much so that anything off the grid has become like phenomenal to people because they just want to be free of being told what it is they have to do. That's not how he designed the world. We were designed to be in a position where we can serve him all the time. So I go back to what we started with. Can a true believer ever really lose their salt? The answer is no. Because when you love Jesus, no matter how bad the situation is, and believe me, I have seen some people going through some nasty stuff, the thing that Jesus brings you is hope. It's the hope that it's going to be okay on the other side. It's the hope that he has you and he's with you and he's walking with you and he's carrying you. It's the hope that you are going to be okay on the other side. That's who he is. Condemnation, damnation, these are not things that Jesus brings to us. They're not things that he brings to you. Jesus loves you. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are and whose you are. And every minute of every day that he gets to spend time getting to know you, that you're talking to him, that you're in prayer with him, that you're explaining to him your thoughts and what you're thinking and where you'd like to go and what you'd like to do. These are things he loves to hear. Even though you can't see him, he's listening. If you possibly understood how much this man loves you, the thought of not being a part of his life or him not being a part of your life, it would never cross your mind. His love for you is so dynamic. He just loves you. Every minute, every day, you have someone who's thinking about you. What's the best for you? How to make things better for you. You see, the way that we keep our salt going is that we remember that and we appreciate that. And when times are hard and when people are pulling us in different directions and they're not showing us the love that we really want to experience, we remember that before any human ever loved us, first he did. It keeps renewing that salt. That salt becomes more flavorful the longer you work with him, the longer you walk with him, the more you get to see his hand move because your salt is so strong that you create a light for people to see by. That's what he's looking for. Are you feeding his sheep? Are you feeding yourself so that you can feed his sheep? Are you being honest with his sheep and letting them know when there are things that they need to fix, regardless of what the ramifications are going to be for you? And do you understand that as you sit here in this world today, at this moment, as the world is in complete disagreement with Jesus and who he is, are you still standing for him? Are you living that what is right and what is wrong? Because in today's age, evil is good and good is evil. What side of that coin are you on? And what side do you want to be on? Take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you know every single time we're going live. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great weekend.